Cam Radio, it's your boy Tony G, Big Blue, Tuesday night, the sports book on the biggest station in the land. Lots to talk about, even though this is kind of, we call it kind of a dead area. It's that time right before football, basketball's
Yeah.
over. Still got baseball, hockey's over. We got WNBA, got a lot of horse race going on. What's going on with I know the G League is on and popping.
Yeah. G
I know
League's
that.
on and popping. A lot of trades going on in the NBA.
Is there
Lot of trades.
any truth, or is it just a rumor, or keep throwing around LeBron going back to Cleveland? What's your thoughts on that? You think that, I mean, anything's possible.
Yes, anything's possible, and they're still saying that there's still some possibilities that they may do some more work to get some more guys in. He opted in to his contract. He got his $52 million.
Yep.
The Lakers are planning for the future, and I'm pretty sure they've talked to LeBron about that. I think they're planning for the future. So I'm not sure if because of some of the moves that they're making, there's no signs of retaining him. So they're focused. Okay, this is Luka's team now.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get all our ducks in a row and make sure that we have what Luka needs. They got DeAndre Ayton. I'm on the fence with him. Uh he's not a bad player. It's just some of the traits that he have. Might have a little concern about. With the reports from the Trailblazers about him being late for team meetings and sulking when he's pulled off the court for a play or something like that. It seems like there's a little bit of, he has a little bit of
Growing
ego.
ego, yeah,
Yeah,
well,
a
yeah.
little bit of ego. Just a little bit though. It's not all the time. It's just certain situations he will, he would show himself. And there was reports about that and stuff. But I think with Luka, I think he'll be okay because he'll get his lobs and things like that. But they're still trying to build up that bench and try to get some players in, and they're not done. But you know how the news is. Anytime there's free agent, the Lakers' name is put in that pot as a possibility of getting.
Oh,
And
sure.
and I don't quite see it. I don't quite see it that way. I think that they're going to do their due diligence and slowly build a team back to what it is. So maybe he might get moved out. Maybe he might get moved out and go east and win him a championship while the East is kind of down right now, and the West
Yeah.
is just stacked with everybody. So it's tough to say. It's tough to say. We just have to wait and see. They're being very quiet. Well, I won't say very quiet, but it seems like the media is putting them more in trade rumors than they tend to be signing up for.
Yeah, I mean, that's just part of that goes along with it. The Knicks hire Mike Brown. Um,
Yes, pretty good
thought that was
hire.
a yeah, I thought so. I thought give him a different look. You know what I mean? Kind
Yeah,
of a different look. Um, Still, I don't know. You still fired a coach that made it as far as you did. That was kind of
right.
strange. But the one of the things that I was hearing complaints about was how they pulled their players when they were getting beat in the game.
Yeah,
Whatever the last, instead of fighting to the end, it was like, all right, we lost.
yeah.
I don't.
They
Yeah,
just took the
yeah.
L. So maybe that
I
rubbed some of the executives the wrong way.
could have. I
But
mean,
he was just looking at the long haul, like, okay, we've lost this game. Let me pull my best players so they can be available later when we can make that comeback. And
yeah. But he and I followed that, but he did it on the game on the end the last game of the series. That was the
right,
part
that
he was
part.
doing. That
That
yeah,
was
yeah,
the
that
part
part.
that,
Yeah,
yeah, it was the
yeah.
last game, so there wasn't.
Game's over. If you
You
go, you
can't. You can't.
go.
You're right. So he just took the L, And I guess they didn't
Yeah.
sit right with them. This is New York. We fight to the end. Blase, blase.
Yeah. That's very true. That's I don't know. Yeah, and you got Bronny. Bronny's playing G League again. Um,
Mhm.
I guess he had 10 new Springs. Remember, he had 10 last night.
Mhm.
I think the G League's kind of cool because they get to get all their picks and see. You know what I mean? It's one thing the
Yeah, get to
NFL.
develop them and see, what they're going to be, or see how they're going to look on the
Yeah,
NBA court, on the professional court.
and that's cool that they have the NFL doesn't have that. I mean, hockey's got the minors. Um, Baseball's got minors. They got, but
Mhm.
there's a whole. Um, Actually, the MLB has an unbelievable setup when you think about it. There's
Right.
five A, 4A. I mean, they have
Yeah, yeah, the
a whole
Grapefruit
almost
League. And yeah,
They got it. They
those
do
are
it. They're
terrific
yes,
developing
young talent.
baseball farms, as they say,
Yeah,
developing farms for those guys. And right. And the NFL doesn't really have that. Basketball, they have a summer league, and
got a
they
summer
play
league.
year
Yeah,
round. And
yeah.
then they go right back to NBA play in October. So there's only a few months off, but those few months they're off, they're still playing basketball. And I think that's what's leading to a lot of these ACL tears and things of that nature.
I agree with you. I do agree. I mean, the body has to have time to heal, to recover.
He'll rest and recover.
Yeah, that's a major thing now.
Hmm.
The recovery time. Um, After practice, your body has to have proper energy, proper fueling. They're fine tuned machines. There's no doubt about that.
Hmm.
And I think you're right. I think a lot of the, I mean, like if you didn't make it to the playoffs, I mean, honestly, other than, I mean, you really need that time off. I'm not
Yes,
saying get on the couch and eat a pizza every day. I'm just saying,
right.
but just not the wear and
Just
tear of a game.
getting off your legs for a while. Letting those tendons and those muscles relax a little bit. You know,
Yeah,
let them heal a
I
little bit. And I understand it from their perspective. These guys, that's all they did all their life was hoop.
yeah
If they wasn't playing at school, they were playing on the weekends at the gym or the rec, or at the basketball court. They was always playing ball. So all their life, all they knew was playing basketball. So it's like they can't tell that the body needs the rest. I mean, they can tell, the body's going to tell you, but at the same
yeah
time, they've been playing so much for so long that it's just another day to them.
yeah they yeah, because they're getting. I mean, think about, they're out for everybody with the Jersey Zeros out for next year. You know what I mean?
Yes,
I mean that's
yes.
pretty
Zeros,
crazy.
the number zeros definitely been a plague last year.
Yeah, I mean that's, and they're out for a whole year, the whole next
Mhm.
season.
The whole
That's
season,
yeah,
whole next season. It's pretty
that's
crazy.
pretty. Yeah, I mean I know that injury used to be considered career ending.
Hmm.
Um, I mean they do get to come back. I mean, but yeah, I agree with you. I think. They couldn't. When it comes to like Indiana, I mean, they had to play in that game. I mean, if they could have sat, I don't. You don't know. I mean, if they sat him the game before and won, would that have helped it? But you don't know. But would they have
Yeah,
won game? That's the whole thing. That's the
right.
whole. You just don't. I mean,
You don't know what the outcome would have. You don't know what the outcome would have been. If he had to put a move, and what if he had to pull the move and it worked? Then he's a genius. So
yeah,
there's a very thin line when it comes to coaching. You can be a genius one day and you don't know jack the next.
yeah. That's just yeah. It's kind of that's the same. Same with gambling with sports betting. I mean, you got Um, one day you can't lose, and the next game, and the next day you can't pick you can't pick a winner in a horse race. That's just
Right.
kind of part of it. Getting into talking about some baseball. Um, the Astros are hot. Skeens, LSU
Astros.
guy,
Yeah.
LSU guy. So I like betting him for strikeouts because he throws the ball at 100 plus miles an hour. So
Absolutely.
hit a couple with him. And then last week, I bet him at and 7 strikeouts, 7.5, which isn't nothing for him.
Hmm.
And he didn't get it. He got 5. And I said, man, what the, I'm looking, I was like, and so wasn't paying attention. But a friend of mine pointed out that they put him on 80 pitch restriction. So they're
Ah,
pulling him after 80 pitches.
after
They're
80
not
pitches is done.
right. So yesterday I was going to I was going to um take him, and then I had to remember, like, man, they only let him have 80 pitches or whatever. And I think he was like at 7. He threw 9 strikeouts. Should have just went with my first mind and went with it
Yeah.
because that was like a plus 210. Yeah, he throws gas. But going to the Astros are hot
Yes.
right now. Second best record in baseball. A lot of
Right.
great a lot of great prop bets. And if you don't like playing the game, and which I understand because the baseball games are always 1.5, and that 1.5 always seems to come back and bite you. And if you look at the money line, give you an example. One of the worst teams in the league um, is Chicago, the White Sox. One of the worst teams. So if you take
Yeah.
them if you take them, if you go against them, if they're playing somebody, it might be minus 350. There's no money in, you know what I mean? If
Yeah.
and you're not going to bet them. They are. Let me see. Uh, Colorado Rockies. My bad. Colorado Rockies are
Colorado.
one of the
Okay.
worst teams, and the next
Wow.
worst team is Chicago White Sox. I was right. Uh, Colorado's only won 21 games,
Mhm.
and the Rockies have won 30. They're both pretty.
Wow.
Yeah, they're pretty bad. Oh, last year was the White Sox. They lost like 20 in a row or something crazy. It was
Wow.
some unbelievable number. Um, but like I said, it's just trying to go on the money line or with the. That's why going right back. I'm going on and on. Going back to player props, home runs. I think Judge the other day, because home runs pays a lot. I think
Mhm.
he was plus 450, and he popped 2. If you're betting home runs, I mean, it's when it comes to the Yankees, it's a lot of hit or miss. One day
Yes.
it's 17-16 to score, and the next day, they can't put one up. It's kind of really strange when it comes to baseball and them.
Right.
Because in the last ten games, Yankees are 3-7. The Blue Jays are
Mhm.
9-1.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, Detroit has the best record in baseball right now, which is kind of cool. Detroit, they had a good football team last year. This year they got a good,
Yeah. And,
um,
and this year the Tigers are doing their thing.
yeah, which is really cool. Maybe the Red Wings or hockey team used to be legendary. Um, but yeah, I like a lot of player props, on bases, strikeouts, stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I know somebody asked me about betting on the G League, and I was like, I don't know about that. Yeah, I know, right? I don't know.
It's
I mean, the
too
guy that,
it's too
yeah,
many
who am I
variables.
betting?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, because you don't. I mean,
You don't
I'm
you
betting
don't
on.
you don't know, you don't have any numbers on anybody. So you're just going basically off a whim, off your luck streak. You're bringing in all of your intuitive powers to try to win uh based off that. I like to have data and a little bit of history on the player, and then I'm like, okay, this is his data now, this is his history of play, and then I use those to see how much and what I'm going to gamble on this person.
Yeah. I mean, I totally. So you got the G League going on, and then you got the NBA Summer League.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
like I said, there's no no days off. They get
Yeah,
done with the
it's
championship and they right back on the court.
yeah, kind of crazy. But yeah, you definitely gotta bounce, gotta let your body recoup. Um,
Yes, yes, I
and
agree.
yeah, just kind of uh, go from there. And like I said, on the G thing, I'm out on the. Like I said, there's just not enough data, and it's not. Yeah, it's just not one of those things that I would feel comfortable putting any. Because a lot of them guys ain't even going to make it to the NBA. You know
No,
what I mean?
no,
They'll be they'll
yeah,
play here. They might go overseas and play.
yeah.
Um, yeah. So I mean, you don't know what you're getting. But like I said, we got baseball, you got golf, you got a lot of racetrack. There's a lot of like I said. I mean, people ask me about there's tennis. Um, you got to be pretty
There's
knowledgeable on your
tennis.
player. Yeah,
We
there's. I
have
mean,
some golf tournaments. I
there's
think
some golf. You got soccer. I'm just
that's going
not.
to start
Yeah,
coming up.
yeah. I'm not a real big soccer guy, so I don't. That's not what
Me,
I. Yeah, so I don't know, but there's a lot of people that bet on World Cup soccer.
hmm
It's not me, so I don't even. I don't even pretend like I do. Like
right,
I do some
right.
baseball. Yeah, it's kind of a
You know,
slow. Yeah,
yeah, I'm too far behind to at least try to make bets on it. I would have to like sit just watch. I would probably have to watch soccer for a season just to learn the game and learn the players and
right,
strategies of
right. That's
different
right.
teams. I have to do a lot of homework before I can like lay the money down on it. I have to understand the game wholeheartedly.
Yeah, and that's me too. Switching back to the NBA.
Mhm.
It will be interesting if they actually do make a deal for LeBron. It really.
Yeah.
I
Now
say
my
you say.
gut, yeah,
Yeah, where do you,
my gut is telling me that my gut is telling me that there's a trade out there where he would leave, and they would pick up some good players and some draft picks for him. That's what my gut is telling me. My gut is telling me that he probably wants to go east now because of the way the West is set up in the east, and it's really like I won't say it's easy pickings in the East, but a lot of the big dogs have lost their key player. So it's going to be a good run for them. Tatum's out, but Jalen Brown he can lead the center, but they've kind of cleaned house a little bit over there. They've
right?
gotten rid of some people that can impact their salary cap. Yeah, like you say, all the zeros are out. You got Indiana, Boston, Milwaukee, all three of those, which are contenders, their
Yeah,
main player is out. So can they survive 7 game series without their main player? I don't think so. Even though Giannis is the main player in in Milwaukee, and it's excellent what they did, how they uh stretch Dame's contract just to get some people in that can help them right now while he's out. I thought that was an excellent move, but I don't know. I don't think Doc Rivers can get them a championship, and I have much respect for him, just like all of the other sports broadcasters. We give them their flowers and then we crap on them.
yeah, right.
But I just don't think that I think the NBA has moved out of the era that he coached in where he was real prominent, especially with the way that it's played now. I'm not, but maybe that's just me. Who am I? I'm a sports blog guy. I'm a sports guy, but he's been on team. He's been with Philly. He's been with teams, and these teams have not done well. Not only have they
Yeah,
not done well, they have not made the playoffs. So that's something to say. And Doc is a guy I respect, so I don't want his legacy to go out with a bunch of L's at different places because we
right.
always place our emphasis on what they've done when they got out as opposed to the whole. Now, when it comes to Hall of Fame, we'll use his whole catalog. But in the right now era, as long as he keeps coaching and it doesn't go well, they're going to try to start making that a marker on his tenure.
Yeah, I mean, they did. I mean, that's, yeah. I mean, it's all goes back to what have you done for me lately? That's
Right.
how. That's kind of how they are. I'll tell you who I wish somebody would grab. Because I think he's. I don't want to. I hate to use the word being wasted. It's Trey Young from the Hawks.
You know, and that's who I thought before Luca got there. That's who I thought that the Lakers was going to try to get because it would have been easy to get him. I thought they was going to probably get Trey Young, but
I
it does. I don't get it.
Because
I
they
don't
had an
get it.
off year. I mean, I don't know. They had an off year. He puts
Hmm.
up a lot of numbers. I really like him. And I don't know. It's just kind of weird. It's like, are they gonna the Atlanta Hawks? Are they gonna NBA free agency latest sign a new buzz? Live reports, live trade details for. I mean, it looks like they're trying to make some moves, but man, either you're going to commit when you got a star, and
Yeah.
he needs some bigs, obviously. Um,
Hmm.
but man, he's a heck of a shooter. Got a
Yes.
heck of an offensive weapon
Yeah.
to have.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And he plays up tempo.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's right. I mean, definitely, definitely would be great to see him win some games because
Hmm.
they finished they won well they finished 40-42, 488.
Wow.
I mean, they're in a terrible division. Uh,
Right.
Orlando, Atlanta, Miami, Charlotte, and Washington.
Yeah.
Washington and Charlotte, I don't get it. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what we're doing. I don't know if we just said we have a basketball team, but we're not going to do anything with them, or I
Right.
don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't like I said they're
I-
because they're both pretty bad.
yeah. Pretty bad. And they've hit the reset button a lot. They hit the
Yeah,
reset button a lot.
that's the only thing that's weird is that the way the NBA draft is set up, where the worst team doesn't necessarily guarantee you a good number one pick.
Right. Right. And I get they
Uh,
try to do that to prevent or avoid tanking, you know. And I believe
yeah,
that's why Dallas got the pick this year to keep teams from doing that. Because it was obvious last year that teams was tanking. But
yeah.
I think they're doing that now to try to keep teams from doing that and trying to put a winning team on the court or a winning program on the court. Hard to do,
It, yeah,
you
just
know.
what's funny is, and just like that, Dallas could be a contender again,
Just like that.
just
With
like that.
Clay, with Kyrie, healthy Clay, healthy
Healthy
AD,
AD and a
and you
young
got
kid.
Cooper Flag under Kyrie's tutelage. Since Kyrie is that guy now, he takes the players in and teaches them about the game and embraces them. So they it could be a good force to reckon with. But
I
also
mean,
Denver made some moves and got their
yeah,
bench right as well.
Denver
They
made
got the
some. Denver did make some moves, so they're definitely yeah, they definitely because they were lacking. You had pointed it out, like, hey man, they lost some players. They lost some players. Here's an interesting fact off the sports subject, but different sport.
Mhm.
The Florida Panthers won Stanley Cup. That's 2 years in a row.
Yep.
And as of today, everyone on the team is signed.
Wow.
How about that?
That's awesome.
You want to
That
know
that's
why?
awesome.
Yeah,
Congratulations to the Florida Panthers. Congratulations. That's a
and you know
good
what's so
that's a good run for those guys.
So the thing what they were talking about is, I guess I don't know how it went down if they had a team meeting, but they were like, "Hey, if we all stay, we can win another one. Let's
Absolutely.
let's try to
Make it happen. Yeah.
see what we could do." And I guess everybody who had a contract, they were willing to be flexible or like, hey, I mean, we'll make this happen, whatever we ought to do, but let's keep it together. Goes back to the same thing we always talk about, and everyone hates it. It was the same thing about Brady. Pay me
Mm-hmm.
$20 million a year, $22 million a year, and keep surrounding me around, and we're going to keep winning Super Bowl. And that's what they
Right.
did. He's got
Yeah.
seven Super Bowls, because at any time he could have been the highest paid quarterback at any time if he wanted to
Yeah.
be. I think at
He
one I
was
think at one point he was. I think fourth year in, whatever it was. I think for a
fourth
very
or fifth
short
year
time.
in. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
He
think he
got his
may.
check.
Yeah. So, but he was 20 to 22 million, $23 million when other
Mm-hmm.
people were getting more, and he was like, "No, I tell you what we're going to do. Keep signing Gronk, keep signing. Keep signing these other
Mm-hmm.
guys, and I'll just keep and I'll keep. And I think, and I don't know this to be true, but I think that was some of him and coach's problem was.
Yeah.
I think maybe Brady may have got, maybe some things were said, or he took it a certain way, and he probably felt like, man, I'm all in it. You know what I mean? I drank the Kool-Aid. I mean, I'm
Mm-hmm.
I'm making this much money, knowing I could be making double.
Right.
But I want the team to win, and they said that, and you never know what. But something I mean, obviously, something was
Yeah.
said or
Something.
something
Something
happened.
clicked. Something
Something
clicked.
clicked. For them
Mm-hmm.
to get rid of him, and then, like I said, for him to go and win a Super Bowl was pretty.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
a kick in the. That's a pretty good. That's a pretty good gut punch for you to
So it'll be
leave. You go win and go out on top. And after he left, the team didn't get another chip. They may
no.
be on their way, but it wasn't instant like Brady leaving and
Yeah.
going to Tampa Bay, and that's all they needed was a quarterback, and boom, Super Bowl.
So all they needed was a quarterback, and you're right. Boom, Super Bowl. That's for darn. Uh, Looking at all my stuff. Yeah, it's kind of interesting to look at it, but like I said, we got baseball, golf, track, soccer. It's a lot, but it's not a lot. It's kind of a slow.
Right.
This is a slow time. You go into the sports books now, and it's kind of lean pickings. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but shortly we'll have football, college football.
Yeah, college football will
Well,
be back, NFL will be back, and
NBA will
and
start back. Then
NBA
hockey
will
will
start
start
back
back. It
in
just
October. Yeah, so it's
yeah.
all just gonna roll back around, and then we're gonna have the pennant World Series. So it's gonna
Yeah,
get
yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
gonna get
That's
good.
that's
It's gonna get
yeah.
good.
All right, guys. I want to thank everyone. It's about that time. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to the biggest station in the land. That's KHAM Radio. Don't forget to check us out on our Facebook page, Sportsbook, or KHAM Radio. Leave us a message. All right, guys, and have a great night from KHAM Radio. Tony G, Big Lou, the Sportsbook on KHAM Radio. We go.